Hey everyone, Steve Savage here. As you can see, the Movember mustache is coming in, and I look like the unholy love child of Freddie Mercury and Ned Flanders. Still, could be worse, and it's a great way to raise awareness of men's health. What I kind of like about it is when people ask, it gives me a chance to tell people what it's about. But beyond that, it's time for us to talk about your job search, which I'm sure you're probably depressed about if you're watching this video, but I'm here to tell you you have a special edge. Because you're a geek, because you're a creative person, you have an advantage in your job search. And let's get to that and see what it is. Imagination. That is your job search advantage. Don't believe me? Think all that creativity isn't going to do you any good in the job search? Not sure how to use it? Doubtful? Let's take a look at this incredible power that you have and what you can do with it. So, first of all, let's take a look at what being a geek does for your imagination. First of all, you're constantly stretching it. If you're a person that engages in debates about Star Wars versus Gundam, if you're the kind of person that is always trying to come up with new scenarios for an RPG, if you're the kind of person that's a trivia buff, you're always stretching that imagination. It doesn't matter what you do, you're a geek, you're enthused about something, and you apply that brain power. You're constantly being exposed to interesting media, people, and experiences. Think about all the stuff you know, see, and do that gives you so much stimulation and so many new ideas. You know about an interesting anime few other people have ever heard of. You're the kind of person that knows about the fascinating personalities in the open source movement. You are always being exposed to new stuff, and that stimulates your imagination. And finally, geek that you make your imagination real. You're not just dreaming things up, they become manifest. Whether it's fan fiction, whether it's art, whether it's games, whether it's a website, something, you take your imagination and you make what you dream up real. These are the advantages you have in being a geek, in having your imagination enhanced and expanded. Okay, so I've told you you're a pillar of imagination, and you doubtlessly agree with me that you're fantastic. But how do you use imagination in the job search? Well, let's take a look at the three things you can do. First, you can think outside of the box. You can come up with new ways to find a job, new ways to portray yourself, new ways to do a resume, to do a web page, to do a business card. Your imagination is going to let you get out of the rut that so many other people fall into automatically because they do the same old job search. Second, your imagination is going to let you think around obstacles. Where other people might give up or see no way to get around a problem, say a company that doesn't seem to be hiring or a set of skills that no one could have, you can think around these obstacles. You can come up with ways to get the attention of people, to show skills that are useful, or to come up with other ideas that are going to let you get around certain problems. Finally, imagination is surprising. You can do things that are going to get attention because they're so imaginative and creative. A fantastic web page, an amazing resume, a clever portfolio. Standing outside the office of a company you want to work for dressed as their mascot, though that might get you arrested. But it is creative, especially if you make the outfit yourself. Anyway, these are the ways you can use your imagination in the job search. Though I'm not sure I'd recommend the mascot thing. That could be trouble. Let's look at how you can use your imagination in your job search materials. First of all, you can use your imagination in developing a good resume. Now, there's some constraints. There's only so crazy you can get in designing your resume and filling it out. But this is an area that needs imagination because, believe me, they're all starting to look alike. It seems that every resume now looks the same. And you can surprise people by coming up with a creative resume design, by coming up with creative resume elements, and by just making it less boring than the standard resume. Me, I use my resumes to tell stories. I coordinate how the different elements work together, and that's my way of being creative. You may have some whole other way to creatively improve your resume. So who knows what you can come up with? Go, try, give it a shot. And let me know how you do it because I'm really tired of seeing resumes that look all alike. Next, your cover letter. Cover letters are sometimes more important than resumes because they're what get people to pay attention to your resume. And those also all look alike too. You can come up with clever turns of phrase, witty formatting ideas, something that is going to make your cover letter stand out and make people go, I have got to read this person's resume. And possibly, thank God it's not another standard cover letter. Finally, where you can really go nuts with your imagination in your job search is what I call your support materials, your portfolio, your website, your business cards. You can go crazy with this because these are areas where people expect you to be imaginative. They aren't as constrained as the concepts of resume and cover letter, and you can communicate a lot more information. If you don't have a website, if you don't have a business card, shame on you, go start making them. It's a great way to exercise your imagination, come to think of it. So these are where you can apply your imagination to your job search materials. After you listen to this, I expect you to get on it. Now, once you have your job search materials improved by your rampant imagination, you also want to apply it to your job search. You can come up with creative ways to do the job search, and that is very important. All the time, I encounter people doing the job search the same way. I do this bit of networking, I do this bit of searching for jobs on the internet or the want ads. It's always the same. And even when the economy is good, that's limiting, and when the economy is terrible, it can be the death blow to your job search. You have to come up with creative ways to find the right jobs, or if you have your own business, find the right clients. To give you an example for myself, when I was looking for a job at one point, I would find companies in the news and in applying to them mention the latest news articles that I'd actually found through my blogging. That actually got attention and in one case nearly got me a job, though it was with a company that folded 6 months later, so I guess I got lucky. But be creative. That is a big advantage in your job search. Secondly, as noted before, you can work around obstacles with imagination. If you find that you're not getting leads from a particular company you want to work for, you might start coming up with creative ways to do it. Like note that maybe this company has a representative at a convention, or perhaps they've been involved in a charity you're involved in. Who knows? Maybe you might decide on some other way to apply that imagination, like finding the best location to move to. Who knows? It's your imagination. I can't judge what you're going to do with it. Well, I can, but I hope I won't have to. And finally, you can think of new ways to look for career options. Maybe you can dream up a whole new career for yourself, a new job title, and get someone to give it to you. Send a resume to a company saying, I think you need this kind of person. Here's what they should do. I am that person. Here's what my title should be. Again, you're the imaginative person. Come up with stuff, but use that imagination in the job search. Okay, so we've talked about your imagination. We've talked about how you can use it on the job search. Next up, I've got some assignments for you. After you finish listening to this, I'm sure you're going to jump right on them as opposed to surfing randomly around YouTube. So here they are. I want you to at least one point in the next week sit down and brainstorm every way you can think of to improve your job search and your career. Just go nuts. Write everything down that's remotely possible and definitely legal and see what happens. And then review it a day or two later to see if you get any real inspiration and to see how imaginative you are. Number two, write down the area of imagination or maybe even areas that you're good at. Maybe you're good with words, maybe you're good at seeing patterns, whatever. Go and write those down and then ask yourself how you can use those on the job or in fact on the job search. We don't appreciate our imaginations very much. Finally, have a brainstorm book. Have a book to write ideas down in all the time. That is very important. I keep one and it has changed my life and my career. Definitely keep that book that you can carry anywhere to brainstorm with. So, those are your assignments, people. Get to it. Okay, everyone. You've got your instructions. Go apply your imagination to the job search. I know it's tough out there, but remember, you're a creative person.
you can get around the problems. Take care, everyone.